Hello and welcome to the third of 4 educational mini-series presented and provided by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging. My name is Ann Barlet. I'm the Berks County Outreach and Education Coordinator for the agency. I'd like to thank you for joining us. This is our last segment in this series, and this segment is on mental fitness and socialization. Our other segments, part of Getting Healthy and Staying Healthy, have focused on healthy eating and good nutrition for seniors. They've also focused on areas of physical health, the benefits of good physical health, and then also being physically active and staying healthy that way with fitness. And now today, of course, is the other components, the mental fitness and the socialization. I'd like to introduce one of my guests at this time. It is Sally Redding, and she is the director of Alvernia Seniors College. Thank you, Sally, for being here. Appreciate your time.
We're so happy to be here today.
Well, you were one of the first persons I thought of when we wanted to do this segment on mental fitness, because I know that the Seniors College, and if you don't mind my saying Seniors College as opposed to Alvernia Seniors College, is really a dynamic program. So I'm going to start with, tell us a little bit, Sally, about the background. How did it all start? What was the real purpose or mission about the college?
Well, what had happened, and this is back in 1998, there was a couple that had lived in this area and they had moved down south. And when they lived in North Carolina, wanting to have better temperatures, etc., they decided that they wanted to do something to stay active. And at that point in time, they realized that Duke University had learning and retirement classes, and they became very, very interested. However, as time went on, they realized, what are we doing here? We're so far from our family. You know, what is life all about? You know, we're down here by ourselves. Everybody is back up in Pennsylvania. So they decided to move back. And when they moved back, they made a concerted effort to try to find a place where they could come and they could take classes like they had at Duke University. They really went the gamut with all of the colleges here in the area. And they really were not interested until they came to Alvernia. So when they came to Alvernia, Alvernia decided, well, this really sounds like something we would truly be interested in, with a community outreach component. So they decided to get a director. And at that time, Rabbi Alan Weitzman was an adjunct faculty member at the college who had great love for seniors, et cetera, et cetera. And he decided that he would like to take it on. And that's when it all began.
And the rest is history, as they say. And it's obviously been fully functioning since, as you said, when that whole happened back in 1998 and later. I think one of the things that I've been, as I've been involved with the Alvernia Seniors College, I really believe that there has been such a diversity of great programs, opportunities for seniors to learn new things or re-experience some things that they may have memories of doing in the past, and cultural issues, and getting together with others just to share points of view. If nothing else, I think is wonderful about the program. Talk to us a little bit, Sally, about, over time, I guess they've changed and offered different courses and classes, but tell us first about how you have, I guess, structured the courses, sessions, and that kind of thing. Give us the lowdown on that.
Well, in determining the kind of classes that we're going to offer, it has been very important to me to go across the board. And that is why you have many, many different interests, within the membership. And that has been a hallmark, I do believe, of the Seniors College, that it's not just art, it's not just history, it's not just religion, it's all of them. And the outreach from the community itself, and in this I'm talking about those that come forth to teach classes at Alvernia. And they'll say, oh my goodness, Sally, call me again. this has been an incredible experience because our membership, they want to continue to learn. They're there because they want to be there. Nobody is forcing them to be there. And then the camaraderie that occurs through the classes that they've taken, and all of a sudden they see, you know, Joe Smith come in and say, oh my goodness, there he is, you know, come over, they visit with one another. However, we have a Monday situation where that really comes full force when they come and have lunch with one another.
So let's talk about, you do something on a Monday specifically at lunchtime. What is that?
And that is the fact that they come and they have lunch, and they have it in the dining hall with all of the young people, which they really, really like a lot, with some interaction there. And then I have a speaker every single week that we have the session going.
Wow.
And again, that's the same thing, you know, whereas we try to go across the board, you know, with many different interests. And it is tremendously popular. Back in the early days, I would say maybe 25 to 30 people we would have. And now it's 70 to 80 people that come for lunch. And,
wow.
And it's really so much a part of it that when I don't have a Monday that I can offer anything, then we just don't have it. Because they want to come, they want to have lunch, they want to see their friends, and that's all part of perhaps the morning class that I have from 10 to 11:30, or an afternoon class after the lunch bunch. But it seems to fit quite well.
So they're really there. They could be there a long period of time, from the class session through the lunch and learn piece, or the lunch and learn through the afternoon class.
Absolutely.
So if you have, so talk to me about the structure of the sessions in terms of, you offer, obviously you said as part of the Seniors College, this Monday lunch and learn. So when you have certain weeks of sessions, and how often are these sessions offered in a year? Can you explain that to us?
I have 3 different sessions, and one they call the fall session. We have the mid-year. I would never call it winter. and then we have the spring session. So at any rate, you know, over the last couple of years, we've done a few in the early summer. However, the 3 sessions will be, the component would be a 5-week session, which is now during the mid-year. However, in the fall and in the spring, the full length of a class could be 7 weeks. Now, that certainly depends on the topic. It depends on the instructor. They might say, Sally, I can only come in for 3 weeks. Fine, because the seniors are so busy and so active that they don't necessarily want to be tied up for too many weeks. You know, however, you know, there are those that of interest. For instance, I have a gentleman that teaches for us, and he comes in from Ohio now because he moved out there to a college there. He is our #1 instructor, and I can count on at least 50 people coming in for his classes, and that can run 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 weeks.
So obviously there are commitments on both sides.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
You've got your instructors that are willing to commit to a specific period of time for X amount of weeks, from 4 to 7 weeks.
That's right.
But what's so nice then is that the seniors are making that commitment too, and that really is important to emphasize, that we take that time for ourselves.
Absolutely.
No matter what age, but even more so for our seniors, in that's to benefit you. That's the time that you can focus on you, as opposed to even some of the other folks concentrating on children or grandchildren issues or health issues. You know, it's really focusing on something new or interesting, something to learn.
For instance, the executive director of the Bar Association, he teaches every fall for us. And you know, again, you know, it's things that the seniors will come up to me and they'll say, why don't we do a course on such and so, you know, which I'm so grateful to have suggestions, because we really try to change the venue every single term.
Wow.
And on top of it, we have our clubs. And we have, and to me, it has been extremely important for seniors to realize what the technology is out there that they can be involved in, so far as not just their their children and their grandchildren, but for other benefits. And we have a thing called the iPad Club, and it just so happens one of the people that are here with us today, Ernie Kasperowicz, happens to be the director of the iPad Club. However, we have one of our instructors at the college who is a moderator, and he will come in at the same time to answer questions about the iPad.
Okay.
We also have a card club every single week, and we have a woman that comes in and teaches bridge every week for the first half hour. You know, we have one of our board members, as a matter of fact, has started a women's chorus.
Oh.
And she herself is a professional, Deanna Rubin.
Okay.
So that has become very popular. And then also we have the New Horizons Band, which is so much fun, with Jim Seidel, you know, and so we have 70 members that have come out for that to play. That for those of us that played instruments when we were young, and now they're resurrecting that passion and that love. And then, of course, the book review, which has been in existence for 13 years, and we have just about every member that began are still with us.
Wow.
It's incredible.
So let me just ask you about that book review as a club. So there is a person who is responsible for selecting the book, and then do they guide folks as you're reading chapters
as that began and as it developed, first of all, she was a teacher for all of her career at Reading School District. And what she does is she asks them to come up with topics, with books that they would like to hear about. So they share throughout the group, and I think that might be part of the interest of why they have stayed a part of it, because they feel that they're a part of it by offering different books. And she has also brought them to the Free Library of Philadelphia. You know, we have had authors that have come to Alvernia too, and to talk about the book.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, so it really is quite a wonderful, wonderful club.
Can you give us some examples, some more examples? So you've got the lunch and learns, the clubs, and then the courses, of course. Give us a smattering, if you can. Share with us, you have some of the mid-year session classes, not the winter, the mid-year. I picked up on that, Sally. Share with us some of the topics. And
I think that what you might like to realize today is the fact that we have an ISIS class going on.
Wow.
Now, we have had 2 Muslims that have taught for us since the 9/11 tragedy all those years ago. However, you know, we did that for like 5 or 6 years, and then, you know, the interest waned, you know, so of course we were on to other topics. And in the meantime, I had said to Steve Elmarzuki, I said, you know, we haven't had you for a good long while. I think perhaps you might like to think about it. He says, Sally, he says, we are going to do ISIS. I thought, okay. Now, our population in our classes run anywhere from 10 to 15 to 25 to the 50 with John Kissinger. But now you're talking about ISIS. There are 98 people that have signed up for this session. And we just finished the 4th one, and it was totally about ISIS, and with maps and, you know, much information. And the interest with the people that are there, I mean, you can hear a pin drop. It is just amazing.
Wow.
And people are walking away saying to me, you know, Sally, I never knew about that. I never understood that. And that is what is happening.
Well, and I think what's nice about the programs at the college that are being offered are certainly in-depth educational pieces provided by the experienced individual, whether they're the writer, whether they're the instructor somewhere else, and that, as opposed to maybe what snippets of information we get from media that can be kind of uneven in their information.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
A couple more courses before we move on.
What I would like to point out is, for instance, one is the police use of force with what has happened, you know, down in Ferguson.
Another hot topic.
However, the people that I have come in, I have what I call my conglomerate courses, and I have every week a different speaker on that topic. So they're getting the very richest of any of any course that you could have. And for instance, I had one of our professors in our criminal justice department who is teaching that to the students. However, I also had our police chief, and he brought the president of the NAACP for that session. And then I had a young man from the district attorney's office, and he talked about the legalities of what's happening when these policemen are going out. So, as I say, and those courses can run a good, 4 to 5 to 6 weeks. And and I feel very blessed that and honored that our community comes forth for that, like our district attorney and our sheriff, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, it is. And it sounds like even with that, people probably want more.
Yes.
And you can see how that's always ask again, or it can in time take some twists and turns, but still always be relevant and wanting to know more.
Exactly.
Now, my brain is already hurting, so I don't know where the brain fitness is, because you are busy, Lady Sally. How does one, you mentioned membership, so is there an age? How does one become a member so we can participate in these courses and classes and lunch and learns? And
what can happen is they can just get in touch with me, just call the college, and there's only one seniors college, and you can talk with me, and I'll take your information and make sure that you receive a brochure.
Okay.
And that has everything indicated here, and then you can call, of course, and if you have any questions. And it proceeds to tell you the classes that are being offered, the clubs, everything. It's pretty much self-contained here. And we give a short little description in here. However, the week before the classes begin, I have a thing that we call our sneak preview. It's unbelievable that these people, by the way, they are all volunteer. Nobody gets paid 1 penny. And they all come forth. On that day, they come in and they talk about the class they're going to teach, and the seniors can ask questions and decide whether they would like to take that course or not. So it's a matter just of getting in touch with the college. You can just call through to the operator, ask for the seniors, and I will send you a brochure.
And I'm going to assume there's no max age, but is there a minimum age to be a senior for this, Sally?
They say 55, and really our class, a very important thing is our classes are during the day. There are no night classes. So that's between 10 and 3 in the afternoon.
Good.
So they don't have to worry about coming out. And then I'm not going to say the parking is the greatest, but there is the parking, and that's typically near the building where these instructors teach. And,
good.
So, yeah.
Good. Well, we'll come back to some more, but I know that we have some other guests with us that I'd like to introduce at this time. Margaret and Ernie Kasperowicz, and thank you for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Thank you. You are some participants of the Seniors College, so I would like to get your perspective. I've heard today how wonderful the classes are and the diversity, but how long have you two been attending?
I was thinking about this, when did we start? And I'm thinking it must have been about 2003, probably, or 2002 perhaps.
Wow.
It followed 9/11, the bombing of the World Trade Centers. There was a course on Islam, and I wanted to hear what was going on. And I missed the first Islam program that they had, but while we were at an elder hostel in Virginia, one of the participants there was from Berks County, and we were just talking, and Alvernia came up and said, by the way, we had this program, and I thought, oh my, that's something I'm more interested in, and I signed up the following term.
Wow.
And we've been there ever since.
And Margaret, the same, or did you come a little later? Or?
No, we came together.
Okay. All righty.
And over the years, we've taken many different kinds of courses, and they've all been very interesting, and we tended to kind of have our favorite instructors and kind of follow them. But in the latter years, I'm thinking to myself, take something new, learn about something new. And so one of the new things I've been taking is art classes.
Oh, okay.
And we just recently completed a course on unknown female artists. And that was very interesting.
So it was an educational piece as opposed to learn how to draw in pastels or something like that. Okay.
And to me, that was very interesting. And I'm trying to take different professors and instructors and different kind of topics. I just want to add that this brochure is mailed to us shortly before the next semester starts.
Okay.
And so we do have some time to read over and choose our courses. And the other interesting thing Sally mentioned was the preview class. And I know I've already read about classes and I thought, I don't know. But when you go to the preview and you hear what the instructors have to say, you think, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. And sooner or later, you're taking 3-4 courses.
You have your calendar open. How do we fit this in? One more of these.
Exactly.
I think also to dispel a myth, sometimes when we talk to people about the seniors college, they seem somehow concerned or burdened by the notion of going to college.
Oh, really?
And underlying some of that is, do we have to take notes, and is there a test?
Are we going to pass, fail?
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing like that. It's the most leisurely way of learning that you could possibly imagine. It is just so great.
The other thing I excuse me, would like to add is about the lunch bunch. There are some people that do not take classes, but just come to the lunch bunch. And it is really the camaraderie of the people there. And the topic, Sally gets great speakers for the lunch bunch, but that alone to me is worth becoming a member of the Seniors College, because it's just so much involved there.
Good. Well, I think we can get just so tied up in, sometimes doing nothing is easier, and it's hard sometimes to
do something
make that initial move to say, I'm going to check that out. And that's why I really wanted to present this, because I know that you guys have gone out and about and have met other people and wanted to find out, how difficult was some folks to at least, it sounds like with Sally's leadership and participants such as yourself and great instructors, that it's very open and friendly. And I think that people shouldn't be afraid to check it out and give Sally a call, to get on the mailing, to be able to say, this is something that's going to be important, whether it's just a new horizon or new interest, or again, renewing something else, friendships even.
Absolutely, and I do think it is very difficult for some people to make that initial effort, particularly if they are alone. They're single individuals, widowed, divorced, or whatever. It's sometimes hard. But we do have single guys coming, the retirees, and single women coming, and they are sometimes by themselves for a short while, but in a week or two, you find them talking to other people. So there is a byproduct to attending this, and that byproduct is socialization. It's not planned, it's not intended, it's not guided, it happens. And I think this is such a great thing.
And I'm going to add to that, because we thanks to Sally, I was able to instruct a class through the Seniors College, our chronic disease self-management class, and it's a 6-week class, 2.5 hours. And I know that one of the things that I saw happening in the class, although the folks were already members and may have known the person's face because you saw them in another session, that class, because we have a limited maximum number in it, everybody seemed to really, after the first class, kind of bond, because you could relate to each other and you could share information, and it really connected, I think, folks. And I would imagine other classes that happens the same way.
Right, sure. Yeah. I'd like to add one more thing about the Seniors College. I think the Seniors College programming tries very hard to stay current. And if not anticipating things, as for example, Sally mentioned the program on ISIS and the excessive police force. Well, these programs didn't just happen this month. They were thought of and worked up well in advance of many of the things that happened at large in the nation, on the national front. So we were kind of preemptive in that sense. We were a little psychic maybe, but
really?
But I think this is something that I think speaks well for the Seniors College, is that we're aware and we want to know what's going on, and we can anticipate movements and things of this sort.
Ernie is not adding that he's very much a part, he and Margaret, with others in a curriculum committee. and we do get together and
Okay.
talk about ideas about the current things that are happening.
Right.
Yes.
Such as the smartphones and the iPads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I need to
Scan.
sign up for all of
Yeah.
these things. I'm so far behind. I just do hope I get a pass-fail and not.
Well, that's the beauty. There are no tests.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, in a little bit of the time that we have left, I just again want to thank you for sharing that wonderful information. And of course, I certainly focused on the Seniors College because it is one aspect of mental fitness that we wanted to talk about today, and a really good one because it provides a lot of opportunities for folks in our community. And I'm thrilled that we do have it here in Berks County. And again, thank you, Sally, for the coordination and your being here to participate with the questions and answers on that today. What I would also like to say is just a few other things to keep in mind, the combinations of mental fitness as well as the socialization, like Alvernia's College. One of the other thoughts I wanted to suggest was, folks, remember that the public library system is out there in our community. It's all over the county. The memberships are free. Pretty much you're just having to go in, fill out some information to obtain a membership card, and then that allows you to go to any of the public libraries in the community. Some of you go into your local libraries, and obviously you can get your books, but another opportunity is to help volunteer there. You know, you can work with other groups and other clubs that come into the libraries, and I would suggest that be an opportunity for both mental fitness and socialization. Another quick one also is Goggleworks down on Washington Street. It's a combination of just exploring things like new artwork in the gallery, or it might be trying a new class that they're offering there, you know, the glass blowing. I know that, you know, groups of people have gone and done that. So they have unique movies there too that again might stimulate conversation, thought, and again socialization. On the other side of that is the socialization, and it is, as Ernie mentioned, a byproduct of what happens at the Seniors College. You're going to learn, but you're learning to also be part of groups and meet people. One of the other things that I did want to remind people is that you can become social in many different ways here in Berks County. And just to let you know that I have a little piece of information on socialization from my local website. And one of the things it says is, as people age, socializing must rank right up there with diet and exercise on the ladder of importance. Mm-hmm. And I think that one sentence says it all. There are great benefits from socialization. And one of the other things I'd like to mention is that combination can be in the form of volunteering. There are many volunteer opportunities. A lot of agencies and organizations are looking for volunteers. Everything from our Meals on Wheels program, which uses a large number of volunteers to make it work for others. You've got food bank, and you've got reading programs. We have a foster grandparent program. We have a volunteer ombudsman program in our agency. The other ways to be social is to get out there and be fit. And we've mentioned before in our other sessions, you know, join an exercise class somewhere, Tai Chi, something like that even, that would provide some opportunities for multiple benefits, including socialization. One of the last things that I would like to mention also is, and I think we have a graphic for this, is that I'd like to again recommend another opportunity in our community is to attend the Berks County Community Senior Centers. And I'd like to show that to let you know where they are in Berks County. We have Berks Encore, first of all, that we have a contract with, and they operate 6 senior centers in Berks County. One in Birdsboro, Fleetwood, one in Shillington at the Mifflin Center, one in Reading, one in Strausstown, and one in Wernersville. And then we also contract with Family First Resource Center as an organization, and they are also in Reading at the Family First Resource Center. They operate what we call SCWOWs, that's Senior Centers Without Walls. And so they go to various locations in the county, and to find out more, you would call them directly as to where they will be. Centro Hispano operates Casa de la Amistad and the Kennedy Center. And last is our Boyertown Area Multi-Service site, and they operate the center at Spring Street in Boyertown. All of these senior centers offer all of the things we talked about through this particular series of getting healthy and staying healthy. They offer the exercise classes, they offer educational classes, they offer various other fitness opportunities, meals, and of course the socialization piece. And as I just read, that socialization is equally as important as the good healthy nutrition and exercise. So I think that you will hopefully take this challenge to get out there and take one step to join others in something, whether it's volunteering or learning about something, and in particular, perhaps it's joining Alvernia Seniors College. So thank you for being with us today.